I am not a financial advisor. These videos are all meant for educational purposes only. All complete Trader Academy videos are my personal opinion and perspective. Trading carries a high level of risk, and all results are your own responsibility. Please always demo first. Hey everybody, welcome back to CTA Review. Today is April 4th, Thursday, 2024. So, hope you had a good day today. Crazy day. Look at this. Look at this. So, long story short, right? Here's the thing. So this price action played out pretty well. The problem with all this, as you can tell, that there is liquidity built. And I was waiting for when this day was going to happen. And I think today is the day. So this is manual intervention, 1000%. I mean, there's buyers and sellers didn't fucking do this. They didn't bring it all the way back to that low with that gap. Sorry. Just if anyone was buying that, you're blind. But so I don't even know where to start, but I'm going to try to keep this simple. Yesterday, or I should say at midnight, or not midnight, when the new day opened, I mentioned this buy here, right, out of nowhere. And I knew that was it was impossible to catch, but you could have got in right here, but I would never take this kind of risk. It was just way too many points. It was about 13 points, 14 points, and not exciting. But could you have taken that? Sure. People took this. No, I saw it all the time. No problem. Okay. But what happened is here is the red flag for today. You open up Asia and just shoots all the way up and comes right to 50% of this gap. And you're probably like, oh, that's what we expected. A higher low to higher high. Yes, that's true. But for it to jump in Asia that quick, early, that's a big red flag. And I'm not saying this because it's hindsight. I can see it now, but everyone was like, what the fuck is that? So with that being the case, I'm trying to stretch this so you can see everything. Can't even fit all this on the damn screen, but so price retraced back, right? And the real gimmick here is to keep it simple. This is your demand block right here. I'm on the 1 hour. All right. So you're gonna learn a lot in this video. So that's that 1 hour demand block there. If you put a fib, it was nice on there too. But hit the gap. All right. So the next in order flow, we're looking. Here's the next one. Let me put it here. In order flow, you want to see these down candles hold. If you're going up bullish, you want to hold it, see as support. So again, there it is right there. Price went above, retraced, bounced off of it. Okay, no problem. Okay, cool. Another higher low. But this is very shallow, first of all. So first of all, we came up too quick and wiped out that liquidity, right? And then we came down. And then this is a higher low, right? That's fine. I'm okay with that. But, you can start to see the liquidity getting built. And you're like, okay, well, what about the top side? Well, just hold on. So then we come up again at 9:30, open time frame. We come up, we tap this gap, right? So at this point, that's a higher high. That's a higher low. That's a higher high. But if you look on the higher time frame, it's very possible for a crack coming. Why? Because on the bigger picture, this is drive 1. This is drive 2. So this could be drive 3, or because this is so shallow, and because this is a real pullback, pulling up, this is a real pullback. This isn't a pullback. So in my mind, this is leg 1, retrace. Leg 2, retrace. Leg 3. Like this whole thing is a leg. And all day today, I'm like, yo, this is fucking suspect as hell. Because not only is this so shallow, right? But we come and we tap this gap and we had that nice reaction on the 1 minute. And it right away shot away from it. So, okay. So at this point, for me, oh, why did I do that? I'm going to show you the entry. So at this point, we're at this gap here. All right. I even scalped this up here because I know we're coming to this gap. The gap is sitting right there, right? And I have a nice divergence here, right? I mean, a very simple price action for me. I take the trade and it pans out and it holds. I didn't really, I had expectations, but I didn't have great expectations. But the only expectation I really had was coming back to retrace into here to seal that any breakout artist. I talk about this every day, right? So it grinded and took too long. And by this time I was done for the day. I took the profit out. And then I moved my stop loss all the way down. I even get out here. I didn't even move it farther than this. I literally just got out when I screenshot it because I had to go. Luckily, I had to go take my dog for a grooming, so to get a haircut or whatever the fuck. And I was done for the day. So, and this was very suspect because of just the way this was too easy. I called the structure and this whole leg coming up. And I was mentioning those equal highs. So you can see it here, yeah. So I was talking about these highs right here specifically. And we ran that. So obviously we know we have all these lower highs here, right? But they've been protecting that for a long time, number two. Number three, I thought they would have saved this drop for tomorrow. But because it is the day before NFP, you also have to be very careful. And that's why I also called it early, because I know this day can be a lot of fuckery. Did not expect this, though. And a lot of news, a lot of a bunch of little things going on in chatter. So that was giving me the inkling that this thing might drop. But so take a look. So this comes down 50% of the actual gap. And we seal this. Great. This was actually a nice buy, and I don't take it because I have to leave. But take a look here. So I know this is ugly. It's kind of hard to see this, but I'm just going to blow it up from here because this makes sense. So right here, this is where I take the trade out. And while I'm walking away and it's 11 something, and I'm like, you know what, just take this buy because I know this is going to be a nice little buy. And sure enough, I didn't take it, but the buy came up and listen, and then it tags this level again. Doesn't fucking blow through it. And at this point, I'm watching on my phone and I'm looking for a divergence. And sure enough, there was one. And I was like, bro, take this trade. But I'm like, no, man, I'm on a phone. I'm good. The day's over for me. Take a look here. This is your crack right there. So I don't know how many people noticed that, but that was the sign right there. If I could try to blow this up, man, it's so ugly because there's so much. So this is a higher high here with S&P. And we never broke that high. So at this point, when I was seeing that, we had lower highs here too. But when S&P cracked here, we were still not cracking that high. And I was like, yo, this could be so. And I got this, and we're tagging this fucking gap, and we're not moving above it, and we never broke that high. So, and I was like, bro, I couldn't believe it. I didn't think this would pan out the way it did. I never took the trade, obviously, but this is at 8:30 we pushed up. The reason why I also got out here and not managed it longer was because I know we had a 5-minute gap right here from between 8:25 and 8:30. Right? I'm not ready at 8. I don't trade before 9:30. So I don't want to trade before 9:30. Do I? Can I? Sure, but I don't want to because there's no point. 9:30, it doesn't matter because, okay, yeah, I missed this push up. And by this point, we've already, let me see if I can make this simple. We've already wiped out this piece of liquidity, which is a very key factor in this whole story. And then when we came up, I had a strong, just like when we took this sell from here. If you recall, it taking out that high, but not that high. This is the same logic that I'm having with this whole price action. That this was going to be a nice sell. Now, when I'm talking about a sell, I'm not talking about this far. I'm talking about like coming to this range of let's just say this is an entire range in itself, right? There's a couple ways to look at this. So, oh shit. There's a couple ways to look at this. I could have looked at this as the whole range and price come back down. Why? Because these, first of all, these higher lows right here, you can see them. This one, I'm over here now. This one, like we didn't even get a pullback here. Like, to me, this is very shallow. So I was okay with them coming back down even this far, no problem. But so if you didn't see this range, there's also this range from here to here. Because why? Because this was a pull up and a retrace. Pull up and a retrace, and we tapped that gap. Remember? We tapped that gap. And then what do you call it? So we push up at the open of the day in Asia, and we retrace very small. So, even if you measured that, there's no, you can see this, right? Look, I don't think I'm gonna be able to make this easy. Yeah, you can see it here, right? So with this, there's no 50% here. And does it have to? Not necessarily, but it's just way too suspect. You got no body close here. The whole thing is suspect, but okay, fine. If you're thinking that this is the higher low to the next leg, let's go with that. And I'm okay with that also, right? But when you get to here, okay, you're like, this is very shady. That's why this trade, when I sold it from here to here, it was a guarantee for me, only because I know that we pushed up and breakout artists are trying to trade this, right? So from here to here is cool. Now, I don't know at this moment, I don't know if we're going to come and take out the 830 lows or if we're going to bust through and take out that high, right? So at this point, we've already reached a nice far leg. Yes, we do want to possibly get those lower highs, but if you're married to that, I have to, if there's anything you've learned in this whole last 10 days, is that don't marry something, right? So it has been biting me in the ass trying to get to this, but I was still also willing to take all these sells in this price action, right? So you have to be fluid, right? But we all struggle with this situation. This is common. But the point is that we did take out this liquidity I mentioned yesterday, right? And we didn't reach that high. So when this is up here, you're sitting back like, yo, dude, this range, I expected this to come down, right? But because it is the day before NFP, you don't need to be involved in the market because of this fucking. Here's a prime example of why. Number one, I'm not a swing trader, and which I don't. I'm nothing against swing trading. I think swing trading is great, but when you have the market conditions like the way they're kind of outlining, especially with the talk and news, and we have an NFP tomorrow, dude, this is all liquidity, right? And they would rather keep these lower highs in play. Why? Well, number one, because we have a strong possibility of topping and really coming down. I mentioned that we would start coming down for these lows if we're bearish, right? Number one. Number two, we've been buying for a long time. Number three, these lower highs, they're so squeezed tight that this isn't even a fucking pool anymore. This isn't even a liquidity pool anymore. This is making sure you don't get in. Right? So, but at the same time, in the defense of this liquidity pool, it's really tight, right? But, again, it's a dangling carrot. There's no other way to put it. This is a learning experience today. Okay, so that being said, number two, we look at the 4 hour. The 4 hour is tweezer topping, right? And that's what I was trying to get to. When we're tagging this is the next 4 hour candle doing this. So because of that, and when the price is coming down, bro, you could have literally pushed sell anywhere. Fucking anywhere. But at this moment, if I drag the price to the right, you don't know if You think it's maybe gonna, well, if it's already this high, it's gonna bust through. And that's why I'm not in the market, because of this fuckery. I don't need to fucking fuck around and find out. But at the same time, when I saw the divergence happening, and I was like, bro, I'm like, this could be a very nice sell, but I made a choice to not be in, and I'm actually glad I was not. Even though I missed a massive trade, I wouldn't have probably held it this long anyway. I would have probably took it out right here when I saw these two drives. So this one and then two, and then I would, you never know. I mean, price could do anything here, but I wouldn't have probably held it. But somewhere probably here would have been nice. So going back to the range, you have a couple reasons why the price should come down to retrace a little bit. So because of just this reason alone of the fib, I'm showing you the range. So you had this higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. That's a higher high and a higher low, but it's very shallow. And if you looked at that as a leg, that would have been fine. You would have been like drive one, drive two, and then a failed drive, right? You could look at that as a failed drive. And then that's a reason to take this sell. But again, I understand it's Nas and it's that close, and no one is willing to take that trade. But how could you have caught this? Well, you could have also caught it this way. Man, there's so much to talk about. So there's a 5-minute gap right here, and that little gap right there, which not that big of a deal. But that's why I was torn personally. Doing a great job of taking the profit here, but I wanted this buy up to at least this area. If it went up or if I tried to hold it or not, that would have sucked. But if you saw the crack here, this cracked, right? So you get close, you get this close here with this high. It's playing around. It gets this close and it gets stuck in this gap. Doesn't take that high, then you see the actual divergence. If you were paying attention to S&P and Dow, but then you get this push down. Okay, fine. That was an entry there. If you're a seller, this is a nice basic double top, as you know what I'm saying. And while it was forming, I was like, man, it sure do look like a double top, but how would you be involved? Well, you break this low, retrace into the gap, fine. If this is way too early, if it's too early for you, then you come down one more time and you break this low and you retrace back up and into that candle. You can see all this, right? I don't know if this is, I have a big ass screen, so anyways, right into this 1259 candle. Price pops right back into it, holding as support. You have a little imbalance right there. I don't need to draw all that, right? You can see that. And then you have order flow here, right? Especially with that break here. That's what I'm saying. When it breaks, it retraces. But then, some other opportunities here, same story, and all the way down. And what do you call it? Oh, this was not the second. Wait a minute. I thought that was, yeah, that was that 4 hour. Oh, I'm sorry, not this 4 hour candle. This 4 hour candle. Yeah, right. So this was the 10 a.m. The 10 a.m. 4 hour candle, and that's why I was saying it was more suspect too, because you had the tweezer top, but then this next candle at 2 p.m. just shot the fuck down. So, but anyways, you can see that clear on the price action. But anyways, yeah, man. So the liquidity here, and then the 8:30 lows. This was another reason to sell, but very tricky day, because I know you're probably married to trying to come up and take that, which everybody was. But at the same time, if you were still in the market, then you're gambling, I think, because you have two options. We haven't seen a 4 hour candle like this. I don't remember the last time I've seen a 4 hour candle like this. It's longer than this, way bigger than this candle, by probably 100 points or more. This was a 500-point drop. So, to me, I think this is a crack coming, because I mean, even if you look at it from a distance, it looks like it's gonna fucking drip down, right? So, and your structure is here. So this is a refined this is just a refined fib, but you're in this range technically, right here. You're in this range, right? You're still in this range. And just like when you were, this is a good example of what happened last time when we had this structure here, when we pulled up and then we came up, same kind of leg, higher high and higher low up, but then we get this push down. Okay, so this is very similar, but does that look similar? This is one fucking, this is like a 2 hour drop. This is just straight down. This is manual intervention. The buyers and sellers didn't do this. Fucking buyers would not need, they wouldn't want this to happen. It doesn't even make sense if it was to be buyers and sellers. Okay, so let the market tell you what's happening in the economy. Okay, dude. So talking about the interest rates, they kept it the same, right? So it's not going higher, right? They didn't make it lower. So there's no reason for this type of move. All right. I'm sorry, that's a sidebar. But anyways, so here's the thing. We're attacking that liquidity, right? But does it buy from here? Okay. So tomorrow's NFP. So does this dwindle up? And do they wipe out anyone trying to sell? I don't know. But I'll be honest with you. I think it should be coming down. I mean, in this type of scenario, I would expect another bearish day. Now, can retrace back up and get into here and then come back down? Possibly, but I can see this being an imbalance first and then price coming down and then, creating that imbalance to then where we come back up later and then we start kind of, if we're bearish, we start doing structure like bearish, right? So I don't know how this is going to pan out. Do they use a wick to come up? I don't know, but or it might be a wash, and this move was so big that it just ends up being a dud day. I doubt it, but I'm just talking. But to be honest with you, you're in this range, and it is still bullish. Like these are the old school US 30 days, right? Where they would have no problem buying this up, and it would literally just stay as support. That range never got broken, and it just go all the way up. So are we still bullish? I would have to say yes, only because we didn't take out this low. If you're using this as the range, which I don't think you can, but if you did, it is still bullish, right? It's just 100% retracement to the head, right? They took out that low, didn't they? Or no, I'm sorry, they didn't take out that low, right? No, they didn't. Yeah. So again, it is still, there is no break of structure yet, technically. But I mean, coming this low, I don't see how it's not. I just don't see how it's not. But again, US 30 days, back in 2021, we were seeing this type of movement heavy, right? This reminds me a lot of when, I'm surprised they didn't keep going, but remind me of when the UK news, not UK, yeah, the not UK, what the fuck am I trying to say? The war across, damn, I didn't forgot their damn name. With Russia and Ukraine is what I'm trying to say, not UK, Ukraine. So long story short, I don't see how this could sustain itself going back up right here. I just don't. I mean, this looks like it's ready to tumble. Again, can Friday be literally a buying push-up day? It could. It still could. But and it being Thursday, it was a very high chance of a reversal day. Thursday is a very high chance of a reversal day, and this, I mean, it doesn't look better than that. I mean, fuck, that's a real reversal day. So yeah, I don't see Friday pushing. So anyways, I think we're gonna start turning bearish. This is a crack coming, But you got to play it day by day and be nimble, man. So, but don't be frustrated that you missed a trade or whatever. You know, this, as you see, we got money showing up every day. We got plenty of opportunities. Um, but this is a sell, buy, sell. That sequence still happened. All right. Forget the pre 930. Buy, sell, buy, sell. Okay. So this buy, fine. If you're in early. 930, I was ready at 930. So sell, buy, sell. So if this sell, this third trade or sequence as a sell. So this is gonna buy. This was very easy. I mean, like, dude, this was from this higher high to higher low, very easy. And this from this higher low to this higher high is easy, but it didn't break that high. So does this sequence, so sell, buy, does this buy, sell, does this stop here or does it stop above? Okay, that's the question, right? It stopped below. So what's the next sequence? Sell. So sell, buy, sell. So and then with all it was this leg was really easy. I knew it was suspect in my gut, man. I'm not trying to talk too much, but I'm telling you the truth. I was like, yo, when I saw this at the opening, right? When I saw that at the opening of the new day, I said, dude, that is suspect as fuck. Right there. This right here dropping to that gap and this push up right here. So it was like almost too easy. Even though this was difficult to catch and this is difficult to catch, fine. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that visually it was just looked too easy. I was just like, okay, and they just brought it up quick to squeeze out everybody from this selling here. That's really what I'm trying to say. They're bringing up this leg up to here. You have to understand the possibility of that this swing is just squeezing everybody out again, right? But to be honest with this kind of pool, like this, and to not get taken out, it makes me think that we're not done with the top side. I'm not saying tomorrow. I'm just saying like in the time to come, even like next week or whatever. I don't know. I don't see. I don't see how they could leave this for 6 months or 3 months or 2 months. I just don't see how they could leave that right now. But if their goal was to get down here and wipe people out, they did a great job there. So I'm just thinking out loud while we're talking here. And I know this is done. But yeah, we break that low. That's a break in structure for me personally. Like when it comes to the daily chart, for example. I mean, 4-hour chart too, but mainly the daily chart. Now, the weekly chart, that's not broken. So, again, we go below these lows. Yeah, man. You break this low right here. That's a break in structure. So it can come down and then retrace back up and then get back into here later after it's came down, come back into here and then sell off again. So that's what I would expect if bearishness. If we're bullish still, we need to literally open up and fucking shoot the hell up. I mean, it needs to be a bigger day than this day. And I don't really see that happening. So unless they were to slowly come back up, I just don't see how they could do that. It'd be something like this where like they peaked below, right? And they would have to, let me see, just to give you an example here. That's a bad example, but I mean, again, pushing up from here or pushing up from below here, it is a crack, but like that would be the response would have to be very strong. So, but I see a crack coming with them closing it like this and leaving it like that. They kind of told on themselves. All right. So that being the case, and then dollar, another key factor was dollar was sinking, and they came even lower. They got to that gap I mentioned yesterday, right? And then they tagged up. When they tagged up, I knew the retrace was gonna come because this was all oversold, and I knew we were gonna go back up, overbought for a dollar, and that was the other factor that I was telling myself like, yo, this thing might reverse here because dollar is going to reverse up, and then that means that would bring us back down. Not a response like that, but but that made me think about this kind of topping out, right? And you have to trust your instincts. You have to trust your instincts because my instincts were to take that sell when I saw the divergence, and I just didn't take it, and it would have been a fucking massive trade. But hey, we got these happening every day. So that being the case, yeah, I'm telling you, man, this right here said it all. So yeah, dollar. I expected dollar to retrace some, and they did. Is there anything else I wanted to say? Um, yeah, I mean, if I look at the other assets, I was mentioning yesterday that this looked like a crack right here. So this was an early crack. And what they did is they retraced back with S&P back into this area, right? And then sold off. So this is to me, this is bearish flow. And I was mentioning this other reason why was S&P had this nice crack. And then if I take a look at Dow, was a little similar. I was mentioning that we had this break here. What did it do? It came back right into that up candle, sold right off from there. So this is bearish flow. Yeah, I'm just looking at this for the first time, by the way. This is bearish flow, period. I think the crack is here. Yeah, I mean, S&P and Nas doesn't really show that too much, but Dow and Dow and S&P definitely, that's a crack to me. So definitely. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. 100%, dude. So, and then what are here's a double top here. These are the signs, man. These are the red flags. And you're learning from this video, you're going to learn, this is a great experience. Great price action experience. So, but the way they did it is so like, I don't know, it's so generic. It's really generic, but and the other side of things, it's actually beautiful. I mean, it was really easy. I mean, you swept that high, you came down, you broke that, you retraced back up, you used this as resistance. I mean, it was fairly fucking easy. Now, I mean, I know we're saying that after the case, but man, so yeah, there's the crack, dude. In my opinion, this is the crack. After looking at S&P and Dow, yeah, 100%. I just go watch yesterday's video so it makes sense. But hey, man, if you kept trying to buy, man, you got to be nimble. You got to be able to flow. I mean, look at fucking Nvidia. I was mentioning this shit yesterday too, didn't I? That Nvidia didn't look too hot, and they're coming down. So this is also more confluence. I knew I had it, man. Let me tell you, you gotta trust your instincts, dude. I'm telling you, fuck what anybody else is saying on the internet or whatever the case is. At the moment, when the time is here, your gut tells you like, yo, hey man, this isn't gonna keep going. This is gonna come down. This is a good place to take. My risk is low. It's a good place to take a trade. Trust yourself and take it. What did they do? They fucking wiped out the whole leg, buddy. So, again, when you get these easy higher lows, you know, it's kind of pretty obvious. But and then you're probably saying, well, dude, if it was that easy, what about these lower lows and lower highs? Well, I mean, they're squeezing it out, stretching out in time. This all happened in 2 days. So again, no one knows what's going to happen to market, so don't beat yourself up for it. I was tripping when I missed this, but I was like, you know what? I mean, hey, dude, I already know that this happens every day. So, all right, I've made this video way too long, and you can I've already told you what to expect tomorrow, if anything, and then for the time coming up. So, you guys take care. God bless.